It's telling me I don't have much space. Are you feeding?
No,
Oh.
she's just sucking hand, but she's hungry.
Bubba noises too. It's very cute.
It is. It's so cute. Hey, David. Oh, she's so. Look at the size of her eyes.
That's so
She's adorable. She's so cute.
oh,
that's making my.
It was not now.
Yeah, so I got a lot of tonight's training from this book, which you ladies both have.
Yes.
Yep.
Have you read it?
Yes.
Definitely. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to refresh some of it for you because I pulled a lot of the training between this book and between Brendan Barber coaching stuff, and then just in the field stuff that I've found works, just general stuff. But a couple of strategies from that book that I thought might be worth revisiting and just really checking if we're fully implementing them and things. Because when I read that book straight after leadership retreat, and I went back to it today to get some tips out of where I highlighted, and I read things like I highlighted chunks and I forgot all about it. I haven't applied it. I haven't looked at it. I just read it and felt so I highlighted.
Yeah, I think I've done the same. Yep.
Yeah.
Except I've loaned it to 2 people now. I never have to refer back to.
Yeah, I am such a fuddy duddy when it comes to loaning my books. So pedantic about it. They're like my babies. And I go back to.
And I still can't come to highlighting or drawing in a textbook because I just feel like I'm ruining it. So I'm like making, like in my notebook, I'm like page number, blah, blah, blah. So I can go back to it because I'm like, I can't write in a book. I feel like I'm wrecking it.
Oh my goodness. Look, you can see mine.
I know, that breaks my heart.
Oh, you would have heart failure if you went through mine. You see? But look at this. But Nicole Barrett used to be like that, and then she sent me a photo once saying, "Look, I drew in a book." Like,
well, maybe I'll get there then too. You'd think all those years at uni would have taught me to write in a textbook, but no.
For sure. Okay, so do you remember when she spoke about having your shit together basically as like a giant colouring book? You remember that? Like breaking it down into small manageable chunks. That's something that I took a lot from because I've always been someone who, and even in this business, we're always encouraged, set the bar high. But sometimes, like I have a type of personality that I do get overwhelmed, especially with 3 kids, and you guys can relate. We're already feeling a bit overwhelmed. So when we go massive bar on top, it makes us feel more overwhelmed. And then, just for the sorry, honey. I feel so bad asking you to mute yourself. Totally understand. But yeah, and even like moments like that, like you try to listen to a training or a recording, and your kids need you all the time. And even I was so in depth putting this training together today, and then it was time to pick the kids up from school, and I thought that's okay, I'll have time to finish it when I get home, and I didn't until 7 o'clock. They just needed me every single second. So, and I was like, this is frustrating. I want to put these ideas down. I just stopped and thought, I just can't. It is what it is, and I'll make the best with what I can do when I can do it. And she actually says in there that the most common things that happen is people either never set a goal or they set a goal too high. And so, she spoke about that. Remember the strategize, focus, commitment, the 3 things? So breaking everything down into small, manageable chunks. And everybody's manageable is different. Some people more time, some people have, different life circumstances or whatever, that their chunks are bigger than the next person's chunks. But the reality is if you break down those manageable chunks, strategize around them, focus on them and commit to doing them, and you amplify that over 5 years, it's inevitable that you will be successful. It's just figuring out that chunk for you. And like, I love how she spoke about it. Like, so number 1 is to strategize. So set a goal and make a plan to achieve that goal in a series of manageable chunks. and then you want to focus on them. So you want to set aside a time a day, even if it's like 20 minutes a day, that time that suits you to get that chunk done. And then 3, to commit to that. So do what you need to do to tick off your chunks so that you can say that you've done it. And then she says, remember it like your keys, your phone and your wallet. Your key represents strategizing. It unlocks the next steps to getting to where you want to go. Your phone represents focus. It's the phone calls that you need to make to mark the calendar. And 3 is your wallet, which represents commitment. And that's basically putting your money where your mouth is, being committed. And then she was saying, like, the most common thing that happens is people set their bar too high, set their goal too high, which means that they get overwhelmed by the size of it, so they can't focus on committing. And it becomes this mess, and that's when we start to run into trouble. So I love how she did the what's wrong with my life and why method as well. So taking small chunks and stuff as well, but then look back and think, okay, what's wrong with my life? What am I not happy about? Why does it look like that? Like, isn't it? I read that and I just stopped for a second and thought to myself, how have I never thought to ask myself something so simple to fix it?
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know if it's a woman thing. It's not a woman thing because my husband's the same. But we get so, instead of just stepping back and being like, what's the solution here? There has to be one. The human,
that's true.
We're so bizarre, aren't we? But yeah, and then like an example of that, and she wrote in the book, everything is not an example. What's wrong with my life? Everything. No, not everything. There are a lot of things that are going right. It made me laugh because sometimes you could so say that. When someone asks you. But like, an example might be I'm broke. Okay, why am I broke? I just lost my job, or you might have bought a motorbike and you can't afford to garage it. So the solution is to find a job. So that's what we need to break down into manageable chunks to find the job, or whatever it might be. Or she's like, sell the Harley and get rid of paying for the extra storage shed. So what do I need to do about selling the Harley? And when you look at it like that, it really is something that so many times we really overcomplicate things and what they can be. So even just now, just quickly, I think Anita might be gone, but if you just want to, Crystal, just write down an example of something in your life now that's not where you want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
Just jot it down. You don't need to share it.
Mm-hmm.
And then why do you think it's like that?
Yep.
And then the solution is something that we need to work on and break down and help.
How do you get on though when
You're right.
I don't, my bit is not knowing what the problem is. Like, I think one of my problems is I watch too much TV lately instead of doing what I should be doing. But I enjoy it and I don't want to give it up. Like, I know what the solution is, but I don't want to stop. How do you get around that? That's my
I love your honesty. That is I love that because I'm the same. And, I've been through so much in the last few weeks. Times, and I've really thought to myself, why am I giving up things that I enjoy in any way, shape or form? Like, if you enjoy them, life's too short to just constantly do what you should be doing all the time instead of doing what makes you happy.
I think, and I think too, as a mum, we already have our minds going 24/7 with what's the kids doing, what do I need to get for them, school runs, lunches, what's hubby doing, need to get meals ready, when's he getting home. We're constantly thinking 24/7, then you're throwing a business on top. And I get that it's nice to not think, and that's what TV is. It's not thinking.
It's numbing. Yeah.
It's on top, brain dead. Yeah.
Brene Brown talks about it in one of her trainings as, it's a way of numbing ourselves. Like you just go numb from the world sort of thing for a minute and go into it. And it's so true. I have a TV addiction as well. I used to have a TV addiction. And I'm somebody who it doesn't take much to slip back into that TV addiction again. When people are recommending series that are great, I'm like, I don't want to know. They tell me. But I'll get into that though, because my next section I talk about feeling like you should, must and have to, and a way to help with motivation so that you want to do what you, instead of feeling like you should, you feel like you want to. Which is,
that's where I'm lacking. Yep.
Yeah. So I'll just quickly finish off this bit about strategizing and helping with time management. Yep. So she said, you know, and the time, how fast does the time go when you don't have your stuff together? When you're feeling, the time just goes so fast, and before you know it, you're feeling so unproductive, which then makes you feel guilty, and this vicious cycle starts to happen. So I love this. Make a running to-do list and keep it going throughout the day. So whether you have it on your phone or like it's something that we talk about all the time, but really implement it. Like even give yourself a 7-day challenge where every day for 7 days you're going to do this and see how you feel by the end of it. See how much more productive you feel. Because I know even for me, like I'm like, okay, I'm going to have a running day challenge. And I do it for a day. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it again. Like a month's time, I'm going to do another running challenge. But try to really commit to that and to be consistent with it is the word I'm looking for. So, you know, throughout the day, you think pay credit card, follow up with Mary, order the cake mold, like whatever it is, right. And then doing that is going to help you relax at the end of the day as well. Because do you watch TV and feel guilt? You feel sick the whole time. Like you enjoy watching TV, but you feel like, oh, what have I forgotten to do? I really should have done that. And now I haven't done that. And now I need to do that. So doing this throughout the day and your manageable chunk in, you know, finding a spot in the day that fits, you're going to enjoy TV at nighttime with a glass of wine, guilt-free, like you've earned it. You're going to feel that sense of accomplishment. So at the end of the day, organise your must-do list. So write all the things that you've written down, prioritise them based on urgency, move what has to get done to the top of the list, and do everything else tomorrow. So if it's not on the must get done today, doesn't need to be done today. Use that time to watch a bit of TV or do what makes you feel good instead of feeling like you need to finish an entire list in one day and then you wipe yourself out for the next week because you're stuffed, which is so easy to do. And then, repeat steps 1 to 4. And then I love this. This is something that I took a note of. Anyone who says the biggest reason they can't get anything done is because they have too many things on their to-do list, probably have too many things on there because they keep postponing doing any of them and the list just keeps getting longer, or they keep doing all the low priority things and none of the high priority, or maybe even a bunch of things that aren't even on the list. I just start laughing when I read this because it's like she's like watching my life. It's even smart to keep a journal of this, like the things that you did that aren't on your list. So like say tomorrow you organise your running list, tomorrow night prioritise it for Wednesday, and then on Wednesday keep a journal of everything you did that wasn't on that list. So by Wednesday you'll know what you need to, what must be done that day. And she's like, you'll find things like cut my cuticles, researched various skin conditions I may have, watched Ocean's 11 for the 15th time, engaged in a fruitless political debate on Facebook, folded someone else's laundry, colour-coded my chapstick collection, or tried to memorise lyrics to a good song. All these things take up so much time. I was fully laughing when I read this. So I just thought it was really interesting, like to, you know, that makes sense, yeah? Like the manageable chunk thing. Do you feel like that helps a bit, like to just... in like a practical sense? A small daily commitment equals 365 mini goals. When you do this in small manageable chunks, you'll be able to take on the things you want to do along the way without feeling overwhelmed. Like watching a bit of TV at night time. You're totally entitled to do that. You're a busy mum who works full time and you're trying to build a business. You deserve that time at the end of the day. You shouldn't be feeling guilty for that or overwhelmed because you're trying to include that in your day. The quickest way to feeling overwhelmed is to try to multitask. And she's like, how do you not multitask as a mum? And I always believed I was a good multitasker. I am really good with not multitasking. I'm very disciplined with one task at a time. So there's a lot of times, like if you boxer me and I don't boxer you back, my phone's probably on silent because I'm focused on a task. So I'll put my phone on silent until I'm finished. And when I'm doing things with the kids, or now I'm in here in the office, I'm completely in the office tonight and I'm completely engaged in my business and I keep moving like that. But she goes, so many people say, but I'm the queen of multitasking. And she says to them, really? And how's that working out for you? It does. And now when I do try to multitask, I get super overwhelmed. Even if I try to just do a live video in the car with the kids in the car, and then they start yelling and fighting in the back, I'm trying to listen. And before I know it, my tether's completely gone and I'm like starting to be on the verge of losing the plot. So if the kids are in the car, I won't watch a training. I play music and I talk with them, and that's it. I used to use the car a lot for trainings. I can't anymore. There's 3 kids in there now and it's like full on all the time. So just don't even go there. And I moved that training chunk to the early morning before they wake up, and I have it with my cup of coffee and just do 20 minutes a day of learning and growing. So that's my manageable chunk, but I want to do that, which I'll get to soon. So stop worrying about what you should be doing. There is so much more you can be doing in that space. How much time do we spend thinking about what we should be doing and tearing ourselves apart? It is amazing what you can get done in 2 minutes. In 2 minutes, 2 short minutes. You know, when you think, I've got to order
before someone comes around.
Yeah, that's right. Or, I know myself, it was just the other day, I was sitting there thinking, I've got to pay that bill, and I haven't paid that bill. And I thought, I'm just going to pay the bill. It took me 60 seconds. I grabbed the bill off the fridge and I paid it. I would have walked around all day carrying that like a ball and chain. Like, and even a follow-up. A follow-up takes 5 minutes, not even 5 minutes, to give somebody a call and say how your product's going. That takes no time, yet we like carry around a backpack full of weights in it to delay it. So, if there's something that you're thinking for a second you should be doing, have a think about how long that will actually take to do and just do it. Just get it done. I've even paid bills at traffic lights before because it come into my mind and I thought, I'm just going to pay it now. I'm sitting at this traffic light and I've been here for ages, and I go into my email, pay link, do it, and it's like done before I even drive. And I think, that was like, when you learn how fast you can get things done, you realise your little pockets of time, how productive they can be to get something so little done. But I'm a bit like you too, Crystal. I like time at night time with my husband and stuff. I enjoy, I really like to get everything done. So in all my little pockets throughout the day, I've learned to get my little manageable chunks in there and in there and in there so that I can reward myself later. And once you kind of get a system of that, it feels so good at the end of the day that you'll never go back.
That you've earned.
Yeah, it does. And you just can't go back because it feels incredible. So if you need more motivation to commit to the plan, summon those feelings of fatigue and FOMO, fear of missing out. Does anyone suffer from FOMO? Because I do. Bad. Yeah, I do as well. So summon those feelings of fatigue and FOMO and combat them by completing one small manageable goal at a time. So when you're feeling that lack of motivation, like you just don't feel like doing anything, find a small manageable chunk and just get it done, and you'll find you get so much motivation from that. It's kind of crazy. It's actually a fact that dopamine is a hormone in our body that we get that makes us feel happy and makes us feel energized. We get it from exercising, and we get it from a sense of accomplishment, and ticking off or crossing something on a to-do list. It's a scientific fact, releases a huge amount of dopamine, which is why, who knows, how good does it feel when you've done something and you're like, done.
Yeah.
It just feels so good. And for a quick second there, you're like, what else can I do? I can cross something else off. So it's just, obviously it uses a sense of willpower as well, but it's choosing to stay in the game too. And hang on, where am I up to here? Yeah, choosing to stay in the game. Stop building castles in the sky and visualize the right things. So see the process and concentrate on how you see things. When we use obligation-based motivation, so when we do things out of should, must, or have to, we start to feel very fatigued. We start to feel heavy, like we're dragging our feet, and this is what causes us to rebel. When we rebel, we think about quitting, then we feel guilty for thinking about quitting, which leads to recommitting, which leads back to the obligation again. And it's like this constant cycle of effed up that we just wear ourselves out, and it all starts with how we see it. and what we're thinking. So when you have a fantasy, that's basically a dream without a plan. When we get lost in the castles in the sky. So we get lost on the beaches of Maui. Just picture ourselves there and hear the waves crashing and the smells and all of that, and then picture the Mercedes in the driveway and all of that, and then the phone rings and it's a client saying, I'm having a skin reaction, and you go and get in your car and it's not the Mercedes, and you're like, this is not what I was picturing. Like, it just makes it so much harder to stay motivated when you've just been in that land for an hour, and now you've got to come back to the real land of creating that, which is not roses. It's hard work. So instead of being lost in that, he said, like, have that intentional creation instead, which is a clear vision and a plan. So that crystal clear vision is very different to being lost in the fantasy sort of thing. And then the plan, which is your manageable chunks. So, and he said there's 3 things that he always thinks and focuses on. And the first one is, how can I create? Like, how can he create what he wants to create? Let me start that again. I didn't think that made sense. The first thing is, what can I create? So for us, we want to create a nation. Well, I'm assuming that you want to create a nation. You're on this call at 8:00 at night on a Monday night, which is hard. So obviously you want to create something. And 2, how can I create that? How can I create a nation? So how can we break that down into manageable chunks, which we could even organise. We could do another training call next Monday, or make it like a Monday thing if you want, and maybe next Monday we can focus on that. And then throughout the week, you can send me questions and things again of things that we want to focus in on, and then Monday night I'll focus in on that again, if that sounds good. Yeah, that's it, because I love it too, because it makes me keep learning the process. I have to learn it and stay with it to teach it to you, so it's very beneficial for all of us. I love it. So how can I create that? And 3, how will that serve? And you can think of so many ways becoming a nation can serve even just your family for a start. Like, imagine the lifestyle you can give your children. Imagine the lifestyle you can give your husband when you tell him he doesn't have to go to work anymore. Imagine, think about them parts. So focus on your mental rehearsal, your future event that will happen short term. So, you don't want to get too lost in the crazy future. You want to focus in on like your mental rehearsal of what needs to happen now and short term. So visualizing really successful product presentations, visualizing seeing people at the park and getting their phone number because they're interested in the business, or visualizing the excitement on your face, someone else's face when they join your business. Like, all the things, visualize. I remember visualizing booked out, like the words booked out, and I had it on my vision board, and I've still got it on my vision board now because I thought it was so powerful. Fully booked. Can you see it? Hang on. I don't know if it's going to focus. There?
Oh, yeah, cool.
See, it says fully booked because I put that on my vision board and my calendar fully booked out. And above that, in the little cloud, see the heaps of people shaking hands and stuff? And it says, opportunities to find business builders and future MVPs are everywhere, every day for me. So that's like what I visualize when I leave the house, is finding that instead of just visualizing the fun parts, but visualize the process and the activity as well. And then the second thing you want to focus on is inspiration. So start your day with asking yourself, is there anyone I can serve? Put them in my path and I will serve them. So I think to myself, who needs the opportunity? Put them in front of me today. There's people out there who desperately need this. Like, seriously, it's insane. The more people you talk to and really find out what's going on in their lives, you're like, I have something that can really help you. So I picture them coming in front of me. 3, exploration. So see numerous ways of addressing situations. Number 4, problem solving. Visualize creative and workable solutions to challenges. And number 5 is planning and goal setting. So go into the future and visualize possibilities for your career, business, and relationships. Get a clear vision that ignites your passion. Remember to stay committed to going. Remember to stay committed. You're going to need a little bit of willpower, but it's only a little bit at a time, enough to focus and complete those small, manageable chunks of your plan. And I've just got 4 little things, 4 ways to help you get in the zone. These are things that I got out of that book and they seriously helped me. I use them quite often. Number 1 is do 5-star jumps. I do jumping jacks. Sounds so silly, but it's a quick shot of dopamine, which is that hormone that just boosts that energy into you. Like do that, and it sounds silly, but laugh. I do my jumping jacks with the kids. It makes them laugh and it makes me laugh, and I just get a shot of energy, and it really does put me back in the zone. Number 2, listen to the Karate Kid theme song. Works a treat. Number 3, light a scented candle, something so little like that. And number 4 is pinch your cheeks for that healthy glow. Just little things. So yeah, as I was saying before, I missed that chunk. Where's that chunk? Go on about wanting to. Sorry, girls. Hang on. I've just missed a. I took all these notes and I don't know where they've gone. Okay, I don't know where it's gone, but I remember it pretty well, what I just spoke about. You really want to, like I was saying before, focus on how this is going to serve you, and then really watch how you talk about things, because your mouth and how you, what you speak about, you bring about. What you think about, you bring about. So if you're thinking I should, or I have to, or I better, you know, those sort of things, it immediately makes your shoulders shrug. You know, your body responds to that kind of language even. So focus in on, you know, if you've got a business appointment or you've got a follow-up, do you know how many people in Arbonne world would kill for that, to have that?
Yeah.
You get to follow up. You know, you get to create that business appointment, or you get the time, you've got the time to go down to the park or to go somewhere. I get to go out for half an hour and make a new friend. Like, and even say it when it doesn't feel like it, and you'll notice that it sounds, I know it sounds silly, but it does work. It really does work to control your thoughts and the way you think things. Instead of thinking I should be doing this, I get to. It's very, very powerful. And then just finishing up on closing strong, because motivation, you're just going back to that for a second, it's just not sustainable. You might build so much on motivation, you know, especially obligation-driven motivation, but you won't sustain it if that's how you're running, because you're going to get tired and you're going to get fatigued, and there's only so long you can continue that circle of recommitting before you will quit. You'll eventually quit. So it's like learning how to see things differently, which I suppose is why reading and self-development is so important, because that's inspiration is what you want to be running on all the time, not motivation. You want to be inspired to change lives and inspired to, you know, change your lifestyle and change other people's lifestyles. And think about, like for me, a very powerful moment in my business was when Nicole Barrett thanked me because she would have been going back to work. And I stopped for a second, and up until that point, I had been really caught up in these fancy checks and the fancy parties, and at that point I was area manager, and she'd just gone region, and I was like, I really want to go region. And she said that to me, and it lit a fire in my belly that I realized it took me until that point to realize what I'd actually given her, what I'd helped her with, and how many mums were heartbroken going back to work and having to do things that they didn't want to do, that I went, okay, I actually have something here that can really be beneficial to people. And it changed something in me. So finding your why, like why are you really doing this business, and using that as your inspiration. Have it framed up next to your TV, or have it framed in them places that you get the should feelings, and try to change them to, I get to do this. I get to do this business, which is going to create this lifestyle for me. That's so cool. Only 20, what was that thing I saw today? My mother-in-law sent me this thing today. Actually, it's just here. I'll read it out to you because I thought it was super. You've probably heard it before, but I just thought it was really powerful. And she said, now it's taking forever to load. Oh, here it is. If you keep food in your refrigerator and clothes in a closet, if you have a bed to sleep in and a roof over your head, you are richer than 75% of the population. And that made me just think, that means that 75% of the population wouldn't even have the opportunity to build a business.
If they can't afford to put that there, then they can't afford to do anything. And we have the opportunity to afford to create an amazing lifestyle for ourselves and then go and probably help those people and do things with that. Like when you start to think like that, it makes you not even want to watch TV. You know what I mean? It makes you like, I don't want to watch TV. I want to watch this. Like, I want to see what's happening over there, and I want to feel accomplished, and I want to feel that inspiration. And that's when you tap into that, like they say, have a why that makes you cry. And it's so true. Like, you should look at your why and it should shake you a little bit to your core, because it means so much to you. And that's when you'll do the things that you never thought you were capable of doing. But often as well, we set it as this big, massive bar and think, how am I going to go nation? Instead of, how am I going to do my building block? You know, like, just focus on that. You know, how am I going to book a couple of presentations this month? Because that will create a nation. Instead of thinking, how am I going to do this much QB? How am I going to go district? How am I going to do that? How am I going to get 6,000 QB? How am I going to get into district qual? How am I going to make a district manager? Like, break it down into their manageable chunks and then spread them out over time so that they don't feel so overwhelming. And just a few tips. Yeah. Do you guys have any questions on that?
No, I don't.
That's
good.
Is that helpful? Does that help you with your question before, Crystal? You feel good about that? Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, that's good.
Awesome. And then
I was feeling really not wanting to go to the post office a couple of days ago because I had to send a sample, and I didn't want to take 3 kids with me and wait in line at the post office. You have to wait there forever before you get served, and all these things that they can touch and get into, and they want to run around. And I left it for one day because I was like, I just can't do it. It's just can't do it. And then the next day I'm like, you know, this lady's waiting for this stuff. I'm so lucky that I can just zip to the post office and I don't have to worry about coming in my lunch break or, you know, anything like that. So I was like, just go in and do it. And yes, the 2 boys were feral as, but I got in there, got it done, and felt so much better afterwards. And thankfully the line wasn't too long.
Yeah, good on you.
Visualize a short line on your way. Might help.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Not bad.
It does. It's those things. And you know, I love how Cecilia Stoll said at GTC that people think that success is when you walk the stage, or success is when you get the car. But that moment then, that was success. She's like, that's not success. Success is when you've stayed home and all your friends have gone to the cinema and you've stayed home to watch iDesign and train. That's success. Or when, you know, you've booked a presentation on the same night as your friend's birthday party and you refuse to cancel your presentation because you know what this business can do. That's a successful moment. That's when you've realised what it takes. And their moments are so hard. Going to the post office with 3 kids, that's hard. That's a successful moment. Like, that's not something that's like, oh, I did it and, you know, it's like the dishes. It's like, no, that's like a full moment, and that's a small manageable chunk that, you know, you committed to getting done. And it's just being consistent with it. And we underestimate the power of that, you know, because at that moment it's just it's so easy not to do. It's easy to do, but it's even easier not to do. Oh. And we just don't do it. And then years gone by. Yeah. We don't do it again. Don't do it. And then another year's gone by. It's like, shit, imagine if I had done them little chunks every day over 2 years, I'd be a nation by now. That's insane. And, you know, I can't preach to you guys like I'm someone who doesn't skip my manageable chunks, because I do. We all do. Otherwise, I'd be a nation too. It's just reality of life, and we're learning and we're growing together. And, you know, I totally understand what it feels like on those days that you're overslept, you've gone to work, you just got through your lunch break, okay, finished off or gone back to the kids, and before you know it, it's 7 o'clock and you're knackered, and your manageable chunks like, go away, I'm not doing that today. Today's a write-off. Next day's a write-off too, and the day after, and the day after. It's so easy to do. So, yeah, it's really committing to those little manageable chunks. And I find it's the best when I do them first. If there's a way I can do them first up, night times are 9 times out of 10 are no-go zone for me. I love doing this sort of stuff at night time, but after 8 o'clock, I really start to hit a wall and I'm like, I'm so tired. I can't function anymore. If there's anything I don't have to do, I won't do it. It won't happen ever. So I try to do it beforehand. So a few tips on closing strong. My biggest tip is to be prepared. Be so prepared. We don't fear closing strong. We fear being unprepared on how to, and unprepared on questions and knowing what the packs are and knowing what the shipping rates are and who's qualified for free shipping and how much do you have to spend to get the PC free gift, and how much does the PC even get off again? And, all of these sort of questions start to make us feel overwhelmed and we feel unprepared and then we feel fearful. So just get in the zone with that. There's so many documents on the source. I love the all you need to know document and the preferred client document. I have them both printed and laminated in my folder, and they're there ready for me to look at. I actually have a folder. If you want me to email it to you, my folder that I have in an email, I've updated that. If you want me to flick it to you guys, just send me your email and I'll forward it on. And it's got all those forms in it, everything that you need to know. And I'm so familiar with them all. I know exactly how everything works, and they're really great. They're fantastic. So
yeah, thanks. Yeah,
that's okay. No worries. What was I going to say? I was going to say something else now. I forgot what it was. I'm always prepared with that. I always have curiosity tests with me because I find they really help wrap up someone who might be interested in the business. And I always say, if anybody's interested to know a little bit more about what I do or making an extra income alongside what you're doing, I have some curiosity packs that tell you a bit about compensation and how this business works. You're more than welcome to take one home. There's no pressure associated with that. I'm not going to chase you down afterwards or anything. It's just purely for you. This business is incredible for me and I love to show other people what I do. And then the other thing is to remember that you only get what you ask for. If you don't ask them to take a curiosity pack, they won't take one. If you don't ask them to book another party, they're never going to book another party. So just have the confidence to say to them, I saw that you wanted a few more things today. You're interested in booking a presentation to get that up to 80% off as a host. It would help me so much. I would love to do it, and I'm on a roll here and really getting into the community, and I just couldn't thank you enough if you'd be interested in doing that. Little things like that. Very, very powerful. Having your lemonades there. I actually had a girl not that long ago, a couple of weeks ago, I went over to help her with the presentation and she told me she had everything. And when I got there to give her a hand, she had not one thing laminated. She's like, do I really need the lemonade stuff? And I'm like, yeah, you do. It's going to be really hard to close up a presentation without showing people the specials and showing people the packs and having the preferred client benefits. And it just makes it run smoother and finish quicker. I even set up an ordering corner. So I say to people, I'm just going to, like a special seat at the table or something. And I go, I'm going to sit down here to take any orders and answer any questions. So if you're in a rush and you need to go, just come over first or pop your hand up and I'll come over to you where you are and help you get these products into your bathroom and get to where you need to be on time. And I always have wish lists that I hand out to everybody around the table at the same time. You girls probably do that. It just helps me see exactly what they want as quick as I want to put the pack together instead of starting to talk about it when they come to you. This process can take a long time. And if it takes too long, people will go and you'll lose massive orders. So that it's a part of the business that you need to get good at, snappy at, and get your wording down pat. Closing Strong is a tile on iDesign and it's fantastic. If you go to our system, Power of Two product presentations and then click on Ultimate Look, in there says Closing Strong. And Nicole Barrett does it and she rocks it. She does so well. But yeah, offer. Don't be afraid to say to somebody there, I really enjoyed your company tonight. I would love to offer you this business. Whatever. Before the, whatever your wording is, before the presentation, and I heard this before, and so I used it just on the weekend gone actually, and I sat down around the table and started to make tips and stuff. And was it Donna Johnson or one of them at GTC said, they should be surprised that you're the host. Like if you don't get introduced as the host and you're just sitting at the table and everyone's coming through and your host is doing things, you just start chatting with people and generating conversation and just sit down with them. And then when the friend comes in and introduces you as the host, people should look at you like, oh, are you the host? I thought you were one of us, like one of the guests, like you've already felt like one of them. And that's always a goal now. And I actually had someone say that to me on the weekend. So that was pretty cool. They're like, oh, are you the host? I was like, yeah, that was my goal. But I visualize that. But it does, like those little things just help. And then at the end, just saying to them, you know, I know it's so random, but would you let me tell you a little bit about this business? It may or may not be for you, but I'd love to give you a curiosity pack and possibly book a coffee or send you some information after, if you would like to know more after the curiosity pack. Like, no one's going to be offended by that. And no one will join you if you don't ask them. They won't.
Yeah.
Would you have joined this business if Anita didn't ask you, Crystal?
Well, funnily enough, I approached Anita. She didn't ask me.
Oh! Wow, you're so lucky, Anita. That's so funny. And
Yep.
I can't believe that. That's so cool. Well, you are the exception, not the rule.
Yeah, it doesn't happen.
And what about you, Anita? Did you get asked or did you ask?
No. I just said to Lauren once her presentation at my house was done that I wanted to do it. Wow. And I I think I waited for her to get back to me with information for like maybe 9 weeks. And then I end up contacting you, I think, because I was like, Loz doesn't know how to do this and I'm sick of waiting. I need to sign up. Wow. So she did the presentation at my house in January. I didn't sign up until the last week, the last 2 days of March, the last 3 days of March. So all that time I was waiting. She had the party and then went off to uni, and then I was like on the back burner. I was like, I don't know who to contact about this. No one's there. Just you, Loz.
Oh, and how did you find us? Just how did you see that if Lauren didn't tell you? Through Facebook posts, like tagging her and things, or?
I think Lauren ended up giving me either your number or Lydia's. Maybe your number, Danny, or maybe on Facebook first. I can't remember, and you actually set up my kit for me, Danny. Lauren had nothing to do with it. She didn't know how to do it at all.
I remember doing it all. Oh my goodness! So
That's funny.
You know, it's a good and a bad thing. The thing that's good about it is it's great that you girls took the initiative to jump on board yourself. But the bad thing is that a little party you might think others will do the same.
Yeah. That's right.
And I have never, ever in 4 years had someone come to me and ask me to join the business. Ever.
No. Oh, actually, well, Jess came to me and asked me.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it sort of hasn't paid off.
And Lisa asked me too.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I did the makeup workshop and Lisa approached me straight away that night and said, I want to sign up as a consultant. How do I do that? That was pretty cool.
So do you think that a little party you might just sort of be waiting for another person to come up and ask you instead of going out and finding them?
Oh, I definitely love that.
Sorry, say that again. I couldn't hear you.
You're right. I just said, do you feel like maybe a little part of you is just waiting for someone to come to you again and ask you to sign up instead of finding them?
I'll let Anita answer.
You're still muted. Oh, look. You're still muted though, honey. That's okay. I can lip read that you said sorry, but we can't hear you. But
I don't know. The other two, Renelle, I asked her if she wanted to, not probably as a business aspect to help her with more so savings, and then the business side of things as a backup because I knew that she just had twins.
Yeah.
And Jackie was purely business. Like I could see her straight away, like doing really, really well.
Yeah.
And then same with Shana, I could see her, like see how much it could help her as well. And she loved it. She still likes the products, but yeah, she can't get motivated to do the business side of things, which is fair enough. It's a timing thing for her too. But yeah, I have been very lucky.
Yeah. And I've definitely had people, like I've reached out and asked somebody to look at the business and they've said, no, it's not for them. And then like 6 months later, because of a Facebook post, they've seen a Facebook post and message and said, your Facebook post has got me really interested. I'd like to know now. But I've always started it somewhere, you know, like planted the seed somewhere. So yeah, I think that's so cool though. That's so interesting that that's how you come into it. That's really cool. Yeah.
Interesting.
That's because I was asked that I always thought that you have to ask. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I didn't know that I was doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting that it's us two have sought the business out and like we're the only two kind of sitting on here. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Very interesting.
Yeah, you're probably right, because probably deep down I always think, oh, well, if they're super interested, they'll let me know. But, of course, I ask people still. But, yes, you probably subconsciously there's a part of me that does think that.
Yeah. Well, that's you kind of.
And I think a part of it for me too, sorry, I can't hear what anyone else is saying, is that I felt like I didn't have anything to prove that I was doing well, if that makes sense. Like I don't have the Mercedes, I don't have, like I just didn't feel like I was in the right spot to even, like, how dare I, sort of.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Anita.
Oh my goodness. But you still have something that can offer them to earn a Mercedes and to earn that success, and no one starts with that. Everyone has to start offering.
Yes, that's right.
I know that's easy to say. And I guess that comes back to mindset, doesn't it? Like that feeling like I should be offering. You're feeling like I should be offering, but I don't feel like I can, instead of I get to offer this business to people who hate their work or hate leaving their kids or want to leave their kids more. Like, who knows? There's lots of things.
Because what I've seen in Jackie, because I knew that she hated her work where she was working, and I could see her doing really, really well because she's got a full heart. And that she's probably the one that, like, I knew that could help her the most, I guess. And she was number 4. So like it's taken all that time to get your head sort of around a different way, I guess.
For sure. Yeah, no, that makes so much sense. That's cool. But I hope that all makes sense for you guys. Like, do you feel like you got a lot of your questions? I love to know that you got what you wanted from me, in terms of where you were at. And I think we need to focus on creating those manageable chunks and bringing them into the business now. I think you girls need to work a little bit on your mindsets too. I say that with love. But just backing yourself more. If you saw in you what I see in you, oh my goodness, seriously, like, you girls are capable of so much. And it's just, instead of feeling like you need to be doing it, to be wanting to do it. And that's only going to come from reading. And that's only going to come from, feeling that sense of accomplishment. Because once you start, you can't stop. It's like anything. Once you start a good habit, you can't go back to the bad habit. But the day you go back, like smoking, the day you pick it up again, you're gone. So it's like holding their manageable chunks and never letting them go, being consistent with them. Because, there are moments when you have been on a roll, you were on every call, consistent with your little chunks, and then you start to slip, they're completely gone. And it's harder to build them back up again than it is to hold them. But just, focus in on that. Know that everything you need is inside of you. There's you have everything you need. You don't need a car to lead somebody. You don't need the success to lead somebody. You both have huge hearts and you're so caring and have everything you need to lead somebody into the lifestyle that they want to create. All that Arbonne is a beautiful product with personal development wrapped around it. That's it. We just develop people into backing themselves and sharing that love with others. And why not make your skin glow at the same time? That's it.
You're definitely right, Jenny. Thank you. And I did get a lot out. Thank you.
No worries. Yeah. Don't overwhelm it. Don't make it bigger than it is. Yeah. You're so welcome. I love chatting with you guys. Reach out to me anytime you need. If you need to Voxer me, or, if you want help tomorrow organising some manageable chunks, give us a bell. I'm home tomorrow. My husband's home tomorrow too, so I can take calls and stuff. So, if there's a time that suits you and you're like, right, what's a good manageable chunk? Let's chunk one down and work it out. Yeah. Oh,
Thank you.
no worries. No worries. I might let you go.
That's so good. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're so
Have a good
welcome.
night.
I will. I love that I get to do this.
Yes.
Good
See ya.
night, guys. See you.
Bye.